All right. Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about motivation, meditation, and inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Just getting everything prepared, set up to go. So let's go ahead and start talking about motivation. So when we look at it, we recognize that if it's not one of the three, motivation, meditation, and inspiration, then we have to ask ourselves, what is it? And so when we ask ourselves this type of question, we start to recognize that the challenges that we face off against come down to our level of focus. So if you look inside of yourself and you start to recognize that it is ultimately up to you to overcome the challenges that you face off against on a daily basis, then it gets very easy to start working on yourself. Now, a lot of times in life, we want to blame something else, or we don't want to get to the stage of growth. We want it to just happen for us. And that is a lack of focus. So, one of those ways that I stay focused is every single morning I have my morning shake and put my focus into a place where I'm able to uplift other people and to get them to see that they have within themselves the ability to, reflect outwards from what they have inside. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So each individual has the ability to grow. Now, that growth is determined by their ability to stay with the tasks that they put in front of themselves. Now, there are a couple ways that you can stay on task. One of those ways is making sure that you prepare yourself, that you master the morning, and that you get into the place where your day is giving you the ability to be focused. A lot of times, what happens is a result of our level of focus. So, when we allow ourselves to get into a place where we start to recognize how the focus works within us, then we start to get into a place where we start to recognize that focus is absorption. When you start to absorb the things that are going on around you, you don't allow them to actually affect you, but start to get down to that place where they work in a place of focus. That's when you can start to really become strong. And what I mean by this is other people will start to call you strong. Other people will start to call you a reflection of what you feel inside of yourself, which is your knowledge that you can do this. So when you feel like you're in this dark place, give yourself that time to grow. Give yourself that time to get to a place where focus is what you're doing, where the things around you start to manifest themselves, where what you have inside is enough. The person that you are inside is growth. And there's going to be times that it's going to be tough to be able to do that. But if you continue to focus and you continue to recognize what you have inside of yourself, you will start to manifest things around you. Things will start to happen. And so, if we can recognize that from a positive place, if yet we could put ourselves in such a way that what is coming out is a reflection from within, then the challenges that we face off against can definitely be broken down. And as we break down our own individual challenges to a level of focus, we need to be asking ourselves, can I do this? And so when we apply our focus, we have to put it in such a way that it becomes a part of our journey. So as we get to that place where we're by ourselves, where there's no help to help us out, but realistically what's going on inside of us, then we start to get to the place where the reflection shines outwards. That's where when we go inside of who we are, to the point where you recognize that it's no one's going to save you from you. Okay, There's not a person on the face of the planet that can save you from yourself. You know when you wake up, you know when you go to bed, you know the tasks that you do in a day. So, what we can utilize is the tools. We can utilize the ability to go within. We can utilize the person that we are inside and allow it to be a reflection on the outside. So when people see you focusing like that, when they see you in that place where you are just trying to do the best with the things that you have, it's going to do something inside of them. It's going to say to them, wow, this person is something special. When we give ourselves that ability, we give ourselves the ability to have the able mentality, meaning getting to the level of focus where it's what you got inside. Then we start to break down walls that are stopping us from growing. They give us the ability to get to that level of focus where the strength comes out from within us. And when you get to that place where you're absorbing focus and what is being reflected outwards, that's when other people will start to call you things. They will call you strong. They will call you a victor. And so when we know that this is the best thing we got and we do with what we got, then it doesn't matter really what's going on around us. I take a look at this period of time as no different than any other period of time. Okay, there's people that want to take advantage of the system, and there's people that want to utilize the system at the same exact time. So that's been happening all the time. So in every way, you know who you are, and you know who you're not. And so I'm not talking to one or another. I'm talking to the person who says, I can't be motivation. I don't know how. Well, I'm telling you that there's tools that are available out there. There's speakers like myself and others who are explaining exactly how to get to that place. I just do it from an angle that's a little bit more hardcore. I speak from the angle of the situation is always going to be screwed up. It's never going to be a perfect situation, so get into your level of focus inside of yourself so that you can overcome and achieve your dreams, your goals, and everything that you want to do in your day. There's no one that's going to save you but yourself. Hey, they're not coming. The Calvary's not coming to save you from you. So what can we use inside? You know, where can we go inside to grow? How can we utilize what we have in such a way that the reflection would allow the tools in the universe to utilize you? I mean, what do you got? In other words, what you got? So when we start to get down to that, we get to that place inside where, you know, we're not trying to gather things. We're not trying to, you know, be gatherers. When we're actually in the life as hunters, when we're actually dominating our day, when we're getting into that place, when we're getting into that level where we pay ourselves first, where we create the billionaire's mentality, utilize this universe in such a way that the level of focus side of yourself is a place of growth. So we need to recognize the process. We need to get into the process of being in that place. And there are some ways that you can do that. Now, one of those ways happens to be by allowing yourself to recognize that putting yourself into a positive thought process. In other words, focusing to the point where the internal absorption becomes positive, and what you search for is positivity in every place. So, if you start to see that there is nothing that can be turned against you as a negative, that you're going to take each individual situation to see the positivity in it. If you can get to that place inside of yourself where you start to absorb that level of focus, then this universe will utilize you as a tool. And that tool will work through other people. What you will see is that other people will start to call you the things that you focus on. They will call you beautiful. They will call you successful. They will call you strong. Because this is what they identify with the reflection of your level of focus. When you see that inside of yourself, that you're in that place, in that level of focus, when you put yourself into that place where what is coming out of you is what you focus on, this universe will utilize the tools inside it to work in your favor. So when you use this universe in such a way that you write stuff down or you listen to motivation, ultimately what you're doing is you're studying the level of focus in that person. And that's very important because sometimes we have to put ourselves in a place where we study others' focus so that we can become stronger from within ourselves. So as we focus to that level, the challenges that we face off against, they're not going to get easier. They're just going to get more simple to handle. And so a lot of people are trying to say change. Realistically, what's going on is what you are focusing on has become a higher level. When you allow yourself to go from trying to gather everything to mastering very few things very well, then what happens is this universe starts to identify with you. That level of focus is going to create torque in this universe. It is going to create a way for this universe to use for positive and negative forces. Newton's third law of motion states for each action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So I highly recommend identifying with this and bypassing the state of good or bad. Good or bad are choices. The universe utilizes positive and negative forces. So when you utilize the force of the universe, when you get to that place where this universe starts to work for you, where you identify that the level of focus comes out with results, that the torque within yourself that this universe utilizes is no different than having a wrench. That when you need a wrench, if you don't have a wrench, you have to use other tools. But if you have the proper wrench for the application, because that was what it was meant for, then that wrench does its job. And that is the purpose of focus. Getting to the place of absorption. Getting to the place where what you focus reflects outwards. Which, in other words, if you want to become the best singer, then you have to learn how to utilize the energy inside yourself in such a way that you use your whole entire level of focus. That what you allow out comes from how focused you are, that others would see that as a result. If you want to become the best motivational speaker in the world, you have to recognize that you're going to have to study the stories on the face of the planet. And that's why I call myself a knife in this universe. Because I'm not here to spoon feed you. Okay? I'm not here to tell you a story that leaves you tomorrow, next week, next month. I'm here to tell you when you get to that level of focus, things change. I'm here to tell you when you go within yourself and you allow yourself to get into that place where the reflection shines outwards, that what ultimately happens is that this universe will utilize you as a tool. That I am not in this universe to spoon feed, but to get to that level of focus where What others are attracted to me for is my level of focus, my ability to get down to the knowledge that I have inside of myself. I'm here in this universe so that way I can be utilized as a tool. That the torque in this universe will utilize what I have, and what will shine outwards will become a reflection. And there are other people that identify this, there are other people that see this. Ultimately, when we focus to that place where we get inside of ourselves, those people that see the outside, they enjoy that reflection of what you got inside of yourself. So, when you are achieving goals, even little ones, because your level of focus is in such a way that what shines outwards from within who you are, you have to recognize that when you take on a task, you take on each individual task and you do that task to the best of your ability. That you don't take on too many tasks to where you can't achieve the ones that you're focused on. So, when we allow ourselves to absorb, we need to also recognize that absorbing is also making sure that we have the ability to master time as well too, because focus is a higher level of time. It's a place where we prepare ourselves for our next day. It's a place where we prepare our morning shakes before we start our day. It's a place where others start to identify with us off of our own level of focus. If we allow ourselves to put the energy in the right places, then what will happen is you will see the results around you. And those will show through as reflections. I know for myself that the place that I am and that the people that I have in my life are there because of my level of focus. My ability to put myself in a place where I was ultimately happy by myself is reflecting outwards, and other people are shining and their own lights are shining from within themselves. So, if you recognize that this universe needs you, if you recognize that you can absorb that focus, that before you walk into work you can take that breath, that you put yourself in that place, that this universe can be utilized as tools, then science will show through you the reflection outwards. Science will show you as beautiful. The reflection that shines outwards from within ourselves comes from our ability to connect ourselves with this. When we get to that place where we're simple, where we're absolutely reflecting outwards as beauty, where our level of focus is showing through, where people are attracted to us for what we have inside of ourselves, then ultimately what we're doing is we're learning how to use the tools of this universe. We're letting ourselves utilize what we have inside of who we are and allowing that reflection to shine outwards. When we do this, the universe recognizes that you are somebody who is needed. This characteristic is known as motivation. That is when people see your level of focus and they identify with you as strong. That is when they recognize that what you have inside of yourself is something different. And I'm telling you, each individual has that inside of themselves. Each individual has that place where what shows outwards comes from within. And so, what we reflect outwards, when we allow ourselves to prepare our day, we allow ourselves to put ourselves in that place where we understand that for each action there is an equal and opposite reaction. We start to understand that studying people that are focused and being focused and beginning a level of focus is inwards. So when we recognize that our inwards simplicity of putting ourselves in a place to be focused, our inwards place reflects outwards, then what we look at is what others would see on the outside. When you see this, see focused. See this journey as a place, as a path that you can overcome. That the challenges that you face off against are determined by your level of focus. So when you go through tasks and you do tasks very well, this means that you are utilizing the simplicity inside of yourself to get to that place where focus is showing outwards. That's when other people will start to call you motivated. It's not about being motivated or unmotivated. It's about getting to the place inside where the reflection shines outwards. Other people would see your level of focus inside of yourself as a reflection in what shines outwards. Others would identify with as motivation. So we know that motivation is the process of the internal absorption. We know that extracting that is utilizing your breath in such a way that you connect yourself. A tool that you can utilize is to breathe in deep. If you're in a place where you want to slow down the things that are going on around you, take the time to make sure that you can focus. Take the time to put yourself in that place where you give yourself that kind of time on a daily basis. One of the biggest mistakes that people make in life, because they do not recognize that the first place is paying yourself first. So the first place is getting to that place where that internal focus becomes an external reflection. So if you do not give yourself time, if you do not give yourself that place, then ultimately you will spend yourself. If you give yourself that time, if you give yourself that place every day where you start your day making sure that the first thing that's important is getting that person taken care of, then the rest of the day will come together, because what others will see is your ability to give yourself that place first. So when you put yourself as the top priority, when you get to that place where you start to utilize the tools, those tools start to become very important. One of those such tools that I enjoy to utilize is the ability to write stuff down. One of those places that I focus my energy into is the study of ourselves. The study of that internal absorption and that external reflection. Now, when we allow ourselves to be in that place where we're absolutely focused, that is when people will start to study you. They'll start to study the challenges that you face off against, the things that you go through, the ultimate thing that you are, which is that you have that ability to utilize what you have. When there is no such thing as a disability, because you're not comparing yourself to anybody else. When there's no such thing as that, because the only thing is the ability to focus, the ability to elevate ourselves to whatever level we can, then we reach the place inside where we overcome challenges to where others would identify with you from your ability to go to places where others won't go and do things that others wouldn't do. They start to see the reflection inside of yourself is strong. Now they start to say that you've changed. And realistically, you haven't. You've just started to put yourself in a place where you're utilizing tools that you have. So, whoever told you you have to change, I'm telling you, they haven't hit that place where inside of themselves they've had the ability to grow, to be honest with themselves. That goes against so many different thought processes and theories in so many ways. And I do recognize this. Like I said, I'm not a spoon, I'm not a fork. I'm not here to spoon feed you. I'm here to uplift you on that day when you're in that darkest place where your whole entire life is screwed up, where everything is going against you, and you start to manifest the light within yourself when you utilize the Most High in the universe. When that place comes inside of yourself where it's you versus you, when you get to that level of focus inside of yourself where what reflects outwards comes from within yourself, where you recognize that you are your best friend and that the tools that you have inside of yourself, they manifest on the outside, and that the external is a manifestation of your level of focus. You only get the things that you focus on. I'll say that again. You only get the things that you focus on. You will never get the things that you don't focus on. Doesn't matter which tool you look for, which place you're in, you will never get that, because what you have inside of yourself is enough. When you utilize that tool that you have inside of yourself, that's when this universe can utilize you. That's when this universe can be a place where you utilize that reflection outwards from that level of focus inside of yourself. Everyone else is looking for a hero. I'm telling you, I'm not looking for spoon feeding. If you don't like what I'm saying, turn it off. Because I'm here to uplift you, to get you to a place of elevation where you bypass every screwed up situation you have been in, every challenge, every person told you you're not good enough. I want you to hear it's between you and you. What you got inside of yourself becomes a reflection on the outside. What you got inside of yourself shows outwards, and what happens on the outside comes from your place inside of you. If you're going to achieve this dream, then you're going to have to focus. If you allow yourself things like the ability to write stuff down, if you give yourself the ability to see the puzzle, to see the pictures of the puzzle, to see the reflection on the outside, then what ends up happening is your level of focus utilizes you. This universe starts to utilize you as a tool, and with that reflection outwards, with that place, this universe utilizes those tools that you have, and others identify with those tools in ways. And I'm telling you, you call yourself focused. You call yourself absorption. You call yourself disciplined. You call yourself things that propel you in such a way that the challenges that you face off against come down to your level of focus. That what happens on the outside comes from within you. When you allow yourself to grow to that place inside, when you allow yourself to have that place inside of who you are, the level of focus becomes a place of simplicity. The first place of paying yourself first is in the morning. Master your morning. Before you can master the end, master the morning. When you master the morning, you set the groundwork up for yourself to start your day. When you set the groundwork up for starting your day, you ultimately see the result at the end of the day from your level of focus as the reflection. And when you're in that place, when you're utilizing that level of strength inside of yourself, that is when others will call you strong. They will call you a champion. of yourself. They will utilize the tools that you have. It's never about what you don't have. That's why it's always about the able mentality, the ability to use what you got inside. Now, when we take that focus of this universal torque and we start to go into our inwards journey, when we actually go inside and we start to utilize what we have inside of ourselves, when we start to get to that place inside of ourselves that what reflects outwards is coming from within, then we have a chance to start to get to the art of studying the knowledge inside of ourselves. So once we master the ability to start the groundwork of our day, then we start to recognize that we can be in control of our thought process. So if you can get to a place yet where you utilize the focus inside of yourself, if you can get to that place inside of you, then what will happen is the external will start to shine. So as you learn from the lessons of the challenges that you have faced off against on a daily basis, as you get to that place where you identify that it is me who ultimately needs to learn from myself, that it is you that ultimately needs to learn from yourself, that what is going on around us is no different today, next week, next month, next year, because I have the ability to go within myself to learn from the lessons, to have the ability to overcome the challenges inside of ourselves. This means that we can elevate past choice. That means that we can also get to the place where we extract the knowledge inside of ourselves by destroying the emotion. And what I mean by destroying the emotion, I mean learning the lesson that is there for us to learn. Learning how we can utilize what we have inside of ourselves. When we can utilize our level of focus and we can connect that to our inwards breath, when we can get to that place where the inwards breath brings the focus to the place inwards, then we have that place to put ourselves as a student focusing inside the classroom of us. So when we go inside the classroom of ourselves, you're going to face off against different parts of yourself. You're going to face off with the ability to stand your ground, your human energy fields, your thought process, your ability to relate, human relation and expression, the ability to voice yourself, the ability to be there and present, and the ability to have the sense around you. Now, when you utilize your focus to that level of extraction, when you utilize the challenges that you have inside of yourself as learning lessons, then they become stepping stones for you to solidify the knowledge inside of yourself. Now, as you solidify that, it will give you the ability to be on the journey and recognize your each individual journey. So that means that when others come, they still recognize that you are on your journey. When they see that coming from within yourself, they will see a light. This knowledge from within yourself becomes a foundation to bypass, to get to that place where the true thought process lays, the place where the lessons inside go beyond right or wrong, where the universe uses what you have available to you so that you can overcome the challenges inside of yourself. So when you focus to the point where you start to learn from the stories inside of you. When you get to that place inside of yourself where what shines outwards is your level of knowledge, when you get to that place, when you look at a situation and you can identify exactly why you were put in that place, how that challenge happened, where it came from, what happened in that place, because you've gone to the place where the true knowledge is, because you've extracted it from your level of focus, which heated up that knowledge inside of yourself and fanned the fire of foundation inside of who you are, then you have a chance to get out of the darkness. Then you have a chance to go to the light, where the light will flow within you. So, in other words, all of you who have learned lessons that you don't think you can overcome can utilize meditation. All of you can get to that place inside of yourselves where you can continuously grow. You can continuously learn from those lessons. That connection comes from your ability to get to that place of focus with your breath, to where you go inside of yourself to start to study the challenges that you face off against on a daily basis. When we allow ourselves that kind of place inside, when we give ourselves that type of time, the external becomes a reflection of that light. The knowledge vibration shines outwards from within, and as you give yourself the ability to utilize all the energy fields within your body, also known as Einstein's statement, mass and energy are interchangeable. When you get to that place where those studies inside of yourself get broken down, where you can even identify with the light inside of yourself, then what happens is you have a chance. You have the ability to be able and not a disabled mentality. That's why there's no such thing as a disabled mentality. There's only the ability to utilize the knowledge and focus that you do have to get to that place where what reflects outwards, others would identify with as a light. And we see these lights everywhere we go. We see these people who have gotten to that place inside of themselves where they are utilizing their knowledge and their focus inside of themselves. That's why they call a person with self-study who gets into the place where the reflection is meditation in light, because they've gone to the tunnel of the study inside of themselves to where they utilize it and where it becomes a reflection on the outside. If you can allow yourself to see that you have knowledge inside of you, if you will put yourself in that way that others will identify with that, if you can become that beyond those emotions, if you can put yourself in a place where everything you've been through, every challenge is waiting for you to learn the lessons from those challenges so that you can overcome them, then you can liberate yourself. You can free yourself from those challenges. I'm talking to that person who is in that dark place, who thinks it's not possible. I'm telling you that you have the knowledge and focus inside of yourself, that you can go inwards and the external will start to become that reflection, that you will manifest on the outside the things that you have inside. That's why paying yourself first is so important. And we need to use all the tools that we have. We need to let other people see that light of that knowledge inside of you. We all need you. We need your light in this universe. You all have a beautiful light inside of yourselves, and you can shine outwards. You can see the knowledge inside of yourself, to gain the lessons from each individual story. And each of your stories are so special. They're so great. Those challenges that you faced off against. So, what is it that makes you you? Do you recognize that you were created in such a way that your knowledge and focus is an internal universe? That what we see on the outside is just a reflection of the absorption that you have it inside of yourself, that growth inside of you will reflect outwards when you connect with yourself. That Einstein, that Newton, they were correct. That the laws of the universe are utilizable. That we can utilize this universe in such a way that science would show these energy fields inside. It would show from this place inside of ourselves. It would give you the ability to recognize that the challenges that you face off against on a daily basis, that you can overcome. So recognize that your knowledge and your focus create an inner light. That what other people call enlightened is when you're willing to take on this journey in this dark tunnel of you, to go to that place inside of yourself where you connect your level of knowledge with your focus. And when those things manifest from your level of discipline, that you're in such a place that this universe has the ability to use the tool of your focus and the reflection outwards from within who you are. You all are blessings. You all have lessons. We all have growth inside of ourselves. We all have stories. We all are imperfect. When we learn from all of these lessons, when we allow it to not be because of the past, but because of how we're going to bring ourselves to the future, when we see the reflection in other people shining, when we see them sing that, and we help them to get to that place of discipline, when they get to that place where that discipline becomes a reflection, then we recognize that we're creating ripples in the universe. When you connect your whole entire inner being with your breath to where this study of this classroom of you reflects outwards, then what happens is you have the ability to connect with you, which means you're there. You're in that place with you. We each live in this. We each have one of these classrooms. We each have this place where we can absorb the knowledge, where we can utilize that the reflection would shine outwards from within ourselves. That means that you can get to discipline. You can get to a point where your focus and your knowledge is from within yourself, where you can get to the center of you, where you can go within yourself to get to the place of discipline, where this classroom will reflect outwards, where the tools in this universe will use your place of discipline. And as you have that, this universe will shine from within you outwards, utilizing the tools we have, reflecting from our levels of discipline, and getting to the place between knowledge and focus where both inwards and external reflection shines outwards, and that place is called inspiration. Let other people call you inspiration. You call yourself disciplined. Connect with your knowledge and your focus inside of yourself so that you can be a tool to this universe, that this universe can undeniably see that when you take on these tasks, you are the best at these tasks that you take on. That within yourself, what others see is motivation. What others identify you as from a reflection is knowledge. They will see you as something great from within yourself. Let them be the ones. You call yourself focus. You call yourself knowledge. You call yourself absorption. You call yourself a reflection. When we recognize what shines outwards comes from within, this universe becomes a little more beautiful. It becomes a little more utilizable. It becomes a little bit more. And this more is a reason to live. This more is a reason to be here. This more is a reason to build the strength from within ourselves. That's why I'm not here to spoon feed. I'm not here for the one who just wants to learn the story. You can go get spoon fed all you want. If you want it, you go get it. If you want to grow inside of yourself past that dark place, listen to what I'm talking about. Listen to what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying, because I'm here to bring positivity to this universe. I'm here so that you can see inside of yourself that you have the tools from the tools that I have, from what I've been through, that ultimately you can overcome the challenges that you face off against. That this universe was created for you and for me. This universe is such a place where the reflection shines outwards from within you, that you can connect with that focus, and you can extract that knowledge inside of yourself, that you would cradle it like your inwards and your exward breath in the place of discipline, to where the reflection would shine out, the ripples would come to this universe, utilizing the tools that you have. That is the connection known as inspiration. That is the connection outwards, which is a level of utilizable universal energy. Energy in this universe in such a way that it has the ability to use what you do have. This means that you can become the best workers. This means that you can become the best bosses, the best writers, the best singers, the best. I believe you all can fulfill your dreams. I believe for a long time it has been twisted backwards. It has been taught that we have to let go instead of let be. And sometimes the lesson inside is that we have to be ourselves. When we be ourselves, when we give our knowledge and our focus the place to grow inside of ourselves, when we recognize that this classroom is enough, that we have within ourselves the ability to absorb, that we can connect with our breaths, that the breath can become the reflection from your level of discipline, and the real classroom is right here. It's not what you've done wrong or right. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's about utilizing the universe in such a way that universe will utilize you. It will call you those things. The universe will see that from within you. It will see that reflection outwards. It will give you that place inside of yourself to shine. And when you see that this universe is such a place for us all, when you see that you can achieve these because this universe will utilize you, then there's nothing less than utilizing the knowledge that you have inside of yourself and the focus. The focus and the knowledge connection to that level of discipline puts your whole entire being into it. The whole entire being, and that whole entire being creates a reflection, and that reflection creates ripples in this universe. This universe has the ability to utilize the ripples that you have in such a way that others would identify with you. And the more focused one is, the more knowledge extraction one utilizes, the more this universe has the ability to utilize you, which means that you become a tool to this universe, and this type of tool becomes a reflection. This is the reason why I say I am a knife, because I want you to see that reflection of inspiration. I want you to reflect outwards as inspiration. I want your level and focus to hit a place of connection with you in such a way that you are disciplined and the reflection shines outwards. That the Most High Creator of this universe has the ability to utilize you, that this universe was created for you, it's here for you to use. This universe is a place of reflection, and that the tools and the absorption is what is important. The tools that we do God. That is such a blessing. I learned not to say the word thank you. I learned that I wanted to put blessings into this universe. I got to the place of discipline where I leave places, I leave blessings. When I leave that way, I recognize that it's an entire process to be blessed. It's an entire process to be focused. It's an entire process to extract the knowledge, to get to the place where this lesson, this classroom, is a reflection. You all have that within yourselves. You all have that inner light. You all have that external reflection. It is up to you to ask yourself, are you creating ripples, or are ripples not in you? I want to inspire you. I want you to see that reflection. If there's one thing the day I leave this universe that I want to be known for, it is an inspiration. I want to leave ripples in this universe for that one person. And if it's just one, it's worth it. I know that there are many who need this. But if it's just you and you're listening to me right now, I have a network called Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration.yoga, where I keep my collection of thoughts, my ability to uplift you, and I try to do my best on a daily basis to get it out there. I also am working with a reflection. I also am creating ripples in this universe. And one day I will share those ripples with you all. That right day, you will see the reflection outwards, that beauty inside of yourselves manifests. And I'm telling you, it's so worth it. It's so worth you finding yourself. That person inside of you is waiting for you to connect with your level of discipline. It's waiting for you to say to yourself, no more, it's me versus me. What I got inside of myself reflects outwards. When you manifest it, those things come to you. They will see you as an inspiration. They will see you as a reflection. And those lights will shine from within you, creating other lights. And my whole purpose is to create that light inside of yourself, to get you to the point where you extract that knowledge, where it become a knife in this universe, where this knife gives you the ability to feast on the knowledge that you have inside of yourself, to get to that place where you can become disciplined, where the discipline becomes a reflection, where the reflection becomes an inspiration. Put yourself in a place where you be yourself, where you be yourself, where you gain from the absorbing of that focus, and the knowledge inside of yourself connects in such a way that it becomes a reflection. When you use that person that you are inside, when you say, what I got is what I got, and what I have is enough. What I can do with what I got will be knowledge and focus. And I will reflect outwards from my level of discipline, from my level of knowledge and focus inside. And that my whole entire being, my knowledge and focus, will become a discipline. And this discipline will create that reflection. And that reflection will shine out as an inspiration. You all have that inside of yourselves. You all have that ability. Some it might take more days. It might take more weeks. It may take more time. For others, they might be able to get there sooner. They might have to utilize different tools. We might not have all the same tools. You might not be able to write stuff down. As long as you have the ability to have focus and you can bypass that, if you can get to that place inside of yourself to get to that connection between your focus and your knowledge, then you can get discipline inside. And that is when you become a reflection on the outside. And those ripples will create other ripples in this universe. And as those other ripples create in this universe, what happens is they become a reflection. And ultimately, those reflections will become attracted to you, which means that you will start to achieve your dreams. Your goals will become available to you. The process of going through it will become more important than the result. The laws of riches in this universe will work in your way. The ability to give more than you receive, that this universe will use those tools to utilize you. You have that inside of yourself. You have that knowledge. You have that focus to put your whole being into it, to put yourself in such a way that your puzzle and your pictures meet. And if they don't meet right now, it's okay. It means that you got to get to that place of focus where you can get to that knowledge inside of yourself, where that picture inside of yourself reflects outwards, where that communication with the Most High becomes important, where the person that we are on the inside becomes a reflection on the outside. And so, as you see that, as I see that, as we see this universe becomes a little bit closer, and it becomes a little bit better, because you are here, because you have the ability to reflect outwards. Recognize that you can be honest with yourself, that you can gain from the knowledge inside of you, that which shines outwards is within you. Challenge the universe to work as a blessing. Challenge the universe to allow you to focus to that point. Challenge the universe to get to that place of discipline. Get to that place where the knowledge and focus is cradled within you from your breath inside of who you are. Focus. Knowledge, discipline. Focus. Knowledge. Discipline. Connection. Light. Reflection. Utilization. Reflection. Overcome the challenges that you have from the knowledge inside. Create the reflection on the outside from within you, and watch as this universe works in your favor. Watch as the things in this universe start to come to you, where the reflection will shine outwards, where what others will see on the outside is joy, where others will see the person that you are from being yourself. Be that person inside. Allow yourself past the slaveries in this universe by bypassing it with the knowledge that you can overcome. Reflection is such a beautiful thing. That's what other people will see from you. That's what other people will identify with as you. From your connection of knowledge and focus to that place of discipline, to that reflection outwards, that comes from within each of you. You have that ability. You have that place. You are a light in this universe. You are on your journey. You are in this path, and you have this purpose that you can utilize the absorption from your level of focus, that every challenge has that place where each knowledge has its first seed, where each growth comes from within who we are, where we are constantly growing, constantly learning, constantly reflecting. Ooh, so beautiful, you all. So beautiful. Allow that inside of yourself to radiate outwards. Allow that person inside of you to create ripples in this universe, that you would extract this universe like a knife, like sharp. I I do hope that you all have a blessed day. As always, blessings, 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 and namaste. Come join me. Motivation, meditation, inspiration, yoga. All one word. Blessings and namaste.